Hello friends, I am back, and let me start by saying I have recently, for the first time in a long time, dropped a new podcast episode in which I interview Andrew Sacker from Brooklyn Vegan and author of an upcoming book about the emo revival, which is titled Emo Revival, and it has a really long subtitle that I do not remember all the details of, but it's from 2008 to 2018. But it was it's a fantastic looking book covering a period of emo music that honestly I was kind of in and out of, and so I'm super excited to read more and more about it and check out more of those bands that he's talking about there. We had a great conversation about what is emo, what counts, what doesn't count, our legacy acts helping or hurting. And it's just very interesting because emo is a genre that has a lot of nuance. Anyway, I could go on and on, but I want to get to the point of this video. But I do just want to encourage you to stop in, listen to the podcast, watch the YouTube video, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that kind of stuff. I've got several more guests in the pipeline for the podcast coming down the road that I'm really excited about. Even got an email today asking me if I'd like to interview someone that I didn't think would be a possibility, really. So very excited about it. So check it out. Okay, now, what are we here for today? Today, we're here because it is the end of April, and so we've obviously got to talk about my April record haul. And, you know, I find that so frequently in these videos, I'm trying to make excuses for buying the records that I did. Truth be told, I have a budget, I don't always stick to it, and that is a bad thing. I should be sticking to the budget that I set for myself. However, there's always extenuating circumstances, and April is record store month, so that's a good part of it. I don't regret the records I purchased at all, and I'm excited to share them with you. So let's dive in. This first record was actually purchased several months prior, and it was supposed to be delivered at the end of March, but it came just a day or two late, which put it into the April record haul instead of the March record haul, and that is this one right here. Stan Getz and Louis Bonfa, Jazz Samba Encore. Now, I've had Jazz Samba for a while. It is a fantastic album, and a friend of mine actually said that they recommended this one above that, so I was very excited to see it. This is part of the Acoustic Sound series, 70th anniversary of Verve, and the quality of the sound is amazing. It's a beautiful album. If you like samba, if you like bossa nova, I highly recommend this album. And it's just 180 gram, high quality, black vinyl, but it is a beautiful, beautiful album, and I highly, highly recommend it. I'm actually on a little bit of a bossa nova kick right now. I love jazz, I love samba, I love bossa nova, and so I just am enjoying diving even deeper. What's next? Ah, yes. This is a record. I got a gift card from a family at my school for me on Librarian Appreciation Month, and I was excited to go buy a record. However, this is not the record I bought with that. This is a record I bought on a whim when I went to buy that, and this is Zach Bryan's With Heaven on Top. It's a great album. I really like Zach Bryan. If you like people like Ryan Adams, if you like this sort of alt-country, singer-songwriter, folky vibe, Zach Bryan's a great get, and he's prolific like Ryan Adams was. This particular album, what drew me to this album, if I'm being honest, is there's a song on here called, let's see if I can get this sleeve out. It's pretty snug. Oh yeah, the font they chose, it's like this dark red font, and I am, visually challenged. Okay, the track is called Bad News, and it went a little viral because it contained some anti-ICE sentiment in it, and I really enjoyed the track. Do with that what you will. So it is a fantastic album, and another knockout of the park for Zach Bryan. Now, the album I bought with the gift card, though, was this one. Jeff Buckley, Grace. A phenomenal album that really almost everyone should own. I've looked at it a million times. Really, what I know the most from this album is his cover of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. But it's a great album, really great. Someone we lost way too early in their career, and this is sort of a legendary album that I think most people would love to have in their possession. It is also just on black vinyl, nothing as far as the vinyl color, nothing too remarkable. All right, another album I bought on a whim, and forgive my voice. I've been reading this story to my classes this week that I've been really getting into and sort of theatrically reading the story to the kids. It's such a fun book, and it's called Don't Trust Fish. Highly recommended. It's a picture book, but my voice is a little shredded from it. Okay, so we went to Mardell's, which is a Christian store, and we saw this album. I do really enjoy this guy, but my daughter especially loves him, and so I had to pick up Forrest Frank. This is Child of God 2. Several great songs on here that are pretty well known, and really a pretty stunning. I didn't know what to think of or what color the pressing was. It's busy, but it's pretty fun. So got a little Forrest Frank. This is a sort of Christian hip hop, yeah, something like that. I don't know what to call it exactly. It's not quite normal hip hop, but there's hip hop flavors in it for sure. Then I was at my favorite record store, and I had gone, I think we had gone from this was around the Easter services of our church, and I was just like, kind of wanting more hymns in our record collection. I've got a few albums of hymns, but I was like, I would love to get some more hymns in the record collection. Specifically, though, I'd love to get some Elvis Presley hymns, some Willie Nelson, some Johnny Cash hymns. Some of those classic people that I really love in the collection. So I went to my record store sort of on a whim, and I was going to take a look around and see if I found any. And sure enough, in the dollar bin, I found His Hand in Mine by Elvis Presley. This is a older pressing, and it's got, it's not super thick vinyl or anything. I also found How Great Thou Art by Elvis Presley. So 2 great albums of hymns and that kind of stuff. And I wasn't actually there just for these, but I thought I would take a look when I was there. And so they were both in the dollar bin. And I took them out of the sleeve, and they looked a little bit kind of scratched up. And I was like, are these even going to play okay? I'm not sure what to think about these. And they were like, the guy that runs the record store, Wyatt, was like, he took a look at him, and he's like, yeah, I don't think that will affect the play. But if it does, let me know. And I was like, I don't know why I'm even asking. They're dollar records. If it does, I'm out $2. Who cares? Took them home. They played pretty good. They got a few pops and nothing really over the top. There's no skips or anything like that. So it was a real blessing, and I got them, for pretty cheap, maybe even less than $2. But what I went there to pick up that day was this one, Charlie Crockett, Age of the Ram. Charlie Crockett is a Texas artist. It's on this sort of bone vinyl. I think they call it something else. They call it a Mesa white vinyl. But anyway, he's a Texas artist. But his country sound really brings me back to the old country sound. And I love his music, but I also love the things he says as a human being. I discovered Charlie Crockett through Leon Bridges, who I also really love. But some of my coworkers were big Charlie Crockett fans before I ever saw him. So it was cool. Last year, the year before I saw, it was Hermanos Gutierrez, Charlie Crockett, and Leon Bridges, and it was a fantastic show. So, yeah, really excited to get this Charlie Crockett in the collection. It's my second Charlie Crockett album in the collection, and just a great addition. All right, that brings me to one that I had planned to buy, and I had pre-ordered, and that's Ella Langley Dandelion. And this is on a white puff dandelion vinyl. This is a great album. Listen, you've heard her big single on this album, Choosing Texas, which is actually written largely by Miranda Lambert. But there is a lot of great stuff on this album besides just that track. And she's one of those, I think, like Lainey Wilson, who is an up-and-coming voice that's going to be around with us for a while. So if we were going like lineage, you got Miranda Lambert, then Lainey, then Ella. And they're all really phenomenal. So really glad to have this. It is such a great album. It's country. So if you're not a country fan, it's not going to be your thing. And obviously, there's a fair amount of country in here. I'm wearing a country shirt. If I'd have known in high school that I'd have liked country the way I do now, I would have beat myself up or something. I don't know. I hated country so much then. But country is just a part of who we are in Texas, at least to some degree. And I will say that, like, it took me a while to get here, but when it comes to be summer's when I want to listen to some country music. It's like country and punk and ska. And then, like, in the fall, I'm like, okay, emo, singer-songwriter, and folk. That's my vibe a lot of times. So I'm a seasonal listener, but I go back and back and back. Okay, so the next one, so now we're going to talk about Record Store Day. So Record Store Day, I really went for one album, which was, where's right there, Corinne Bailey Rae, live at Webster Hall in London. I've had that on CD and DVD. It was live in New York and London. The CD was New York and the DVD was London. And I've loved it for a long time, and I have wanted it out on vinyl, and it came out for Record Store Day. But my record store only got one copy, which was a super bummer. And I wasn't too far back in line, but I didn't get it. But that's okay. I did get, this is something that I had on my list that I did get, which is I got the deluxe edition of Paramore, All We Know Is Falling. And I've talked about this more in my Record Store Day video, but this is on a red with black smoke. You can't see the smoke too well, but this is the full All We Know Is Falling album with the Summer Tick EP. Now, I've already got this album in a different, like, I've got the album without the Summer Tick EP, so I'm going to either give that away or sell it or something, but I'm glad to have the deluxe edition because Paramore and Hayley Williams are one of my all-time favorite artists at this point. The other album I ended up picking up at Record Store Day, which is one that I originally had on my list, and then I backed off, and then I came back, is Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros' Global A Go-Go. Joe Strummer, originally from The Clash. This is a phenomenal album. It's 25th anniversary. Yellow with some splatter on there. This is, I talked about this in that video as well, but I sort of discovered this through the song Mondo Bongo and the soundtrack for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's a gorgeous album. I backed off buying this because I was like, I only really know the one song. I shouldn't buy a whole vinyl record for just one song. So one day when I was doing arrival duty at my school, I had one earbud in, I was listening to some music, I was listening to this album, and I was like, dude, this is a great album. I have got to keep this. I've got to get this. So I ended up picking it up at Record Store Day. Great purchase. Last Record Store Day purchase, Taylor Swift's Elizabeth Taylor 7-inch vinyl. Really beautiful purple with splatter, and there's glitter on it. I did not really intend to buy this. I bought two of these for a couple of my coworkers, and one of them wanted it and one of them didn't. So I just had an extra copy, and I could push and find someone to sell it to, but I decided to just keep it myself because it's absolutely beautiful. So happy to have this in the collection as well. I have purchased a Taylor Swift 7-inch before, and then I ended up giving it away to a friend. So it's the only Taylor Swift 7-inch I have in my collection. And the last record I picked up, this was for my wife's birthday, in honor of something we plan to do and have not done yet, and that is that we are going to go see the movie Michael. We're both Michael Jackson fans, so I picked up Michael Jackson #1s, even though I have a lot of these albums already on vinyl, a lot of the studio albums already on vinyl. I picked this up for my wife along with like a Time Magazine special issue kind of focused on Michael Jackson, and we listened to it, we enjoyed it. And we're going to go as a family to see Michael sometime soon. We haven't had a chance to go quite yet, but sometime in the near future. So that's it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 records. One was a pre-order, 2 were free. 11 records in a 7-inch. So 12. One was a pre-order, 2 were free, and 3 were at Record Store Day. So that kind of makes it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 out of 12. So then I've got 6 that I purchased. And that is it. That's the collection, man. It was a good month in April. May, I've already got a bunch coming in pretty soon. May 1st, what a day, May 1st. And I pre-ordered several albums that are coming in on May 1st. And I've got a couple more coming up, plus my birthday's in May, so May's probably going to be heavy too. And then we'll keep going. So, what did you like that I picked up? What did you get at Record Store Day? Like, comment, and subscribe. Go watch my Record Store Day video. Go watch my podcast. Spread the word. Share it with your friends. And thanks for stopping by.